I'd never really thought about it before I did this shoot, but I actually have kind of a funny relationship with lingerie where like I was raised Catholic, and so when I was a teenager, I was like rebelling against that as hard as I could. So I remember I would buy these like thigh-high stockings and like garter belts and like really go for it. One of the biggest reasons I got out of fashion was just like I was starting to feel a little bit frustrated, and like I was hitting a bit of a wall with the way that you have to kind of portray women. Sort of made to be this little package and with like a ribbon on it, you know, that was safe and easy for men to ingest. Being in front of the camera as a muse, I do kind of feel very much myself, and I get to be this side of myself that I don't often show, which is really fun because I can be a little bit more shy with the sort of image that I project to the greater public.
I loathe the concept of muse. I think it's been a way of writing women, especially out of history and out of creative history. You can draw inspiration from inanimate things. You can look at a tree and be inspired, but to look at a person, they're giving that to you. That's, you know, that's theirs and they're sharing. It's not something you just receive. Nobody's like a vessel for expelling inspiration.
And right into the lens.
We're all creators.
Put your head sort of to the side a little bit, and then just with your eyes.
There's different ways of walking or smiling, different expressions, and it's like a lot of those I think are just like everyone's familiar with them and no one ever like makes a note of it, and I think they're so beautiful. And I guess my approach in illustration is also like capture moments in life or like people that I've seen or met or like something about someone I've seen, things that make people different, and I would love to like be able to hold on to that and like try to capture that beauty on paper.
A tiny bit more, just because her shoulder looks so great, just to get a little bit more.
There's a lot of like power in like softness and in like in love and things like that, and I think like women also have this like power in them, and I love like seeing that like come out and like seeing them like sort of shine.
We actually maybe could use some.
Here, I'll get more.
Okay, thank you.
I lean towards working with women not only for comfort level, but also because I want to employ women. I'm someone who's, you know, has gotten to a point where I'm comfortable with my body, and I want to feel sexy, and I like feeling sexy, and I think it's easier to also be in lingerie in front of a bunch of women who also can appreciate that, you know, being in a lace tight outfit doesn't have to be uncomfortable. You can be very comfortable in it. So when we see a lingerie ad where, you know, it's a beautiful piece of lingerie and there's this kind of, it's well shot, and that is sexy, you know? You want to put that on your wall and like wake up and look at it. But there's a difference between that and then just something that's literally like someone slapped on some makeup and is just like trying to do this like sexy position, and you're like, okay. It's sexy because you feel good, not because you're trying to be someone you're not or trying to please someone.
I was like a very quiet, shy kid, and I was like very pencil pusher. I didn't have any friends, but I always like deep down like wanted to be this person, and I feel like finally I was able to. There are more body positive images, like especially on Instagram, and I think a lot of that has to do with like women making their own brands and women being behind like the production team, like shooting it and directing it and everything. I guess I feel more comfortable being a muse. I've never really been a maestro. So like as a child, I never thought that I would be able to like be comfortable in front of the camera, but as soon as like there is one, I'm like perfectly fine. And I really like that it brings that part out of me, because it just makes me feel good.
I'm gonna take your medium format camera in.
Oh, great.
I feel like when I first started directing, I always thought I was going to have a muse, and now I've kind of become my own muse.
Slowly kind of start to arch your back as much.
I think it makes sense that women would sell lingerie to women, whether that's the camera, as we're doing here, the director, the sound person, and then the models themselves. It makes sense that it would be a female gaze.
And then turn back around fully to with your body, yeah.
I think that women are inherently quite beautiful, so it's easy to see an image of a woman and fetishize or to commodify, even as a woman.
That is so gorgeous.
Beautiful.
And the same thing, but just...
Want to pull out a bit more?
It's kind of fun sometimes to like see how other people might perceive you, and then sort of go with that, and sort of know that that like can live inside of you.
Let's do some stuff where you...
I'm on the other side of the camera. I'm behind it mostly, so I find that I have a lot of muses in my life.
She's the lens.
I think most of the people that I would call muses are people that I've sort of cultivated long-term relationships with, but that doesn't mean that that can't happen quickly. And I think sometimes you just have like a special relationship with people that sort of happens right off the bat, and you can sort of go a lot of places with them, or maybe see things in them that they maybe don't see in themselves and try to bring that out of them.